What just happened?
Hello.
Did I just drop out of your stream?
That was my fault. I should have told you. No.
Did
let
you
me
kick
rephrase
me
that.
out?
I didn't realize it was going to do it because it was on record video, record audio. So I changed it to show video, record audio, but it booted the whole thing. So
I'm like, Russell kicked me out of the room.
bye. I'm doing the podcast by myself tonight.
That's it. It's done. Well, that's a nice early finish for me. I might go and just troll in the live chat. I think we're live. I'm not sure.
Oh, are we? Okay.
But we might be. Who knows? It's Sunday. We're professionals, you can tell.
We are live.
We are? Well, that's good. As usual, we'll probably stick around for 5 minutes if anyone's got any questions after the show.
Hey, Samuel.
Yeah, I haven't got the live feed up because I'm not that professional yet.
No, that's fine. I got it.
You got it? You got the live feed? You can read the comments. All right, we should probably get into the whole doing a show thing. I've got notes here somewhere. Is it 54? Really?
Yeah, it is, man.
Jeez, time flies.
Before you start, I've just paused the recording just to save the recording time. Just let me know when you're good to go.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Welcome everybody to episode 54 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam Amy, joined as always by Russell Gibson. Russell, how are you on this Sunday?
I'm really well, mate. Actually, I've had a very, very nice and also very relaxing weekend. So
Yeah, it's been a very indoorsy weekend down here in Melbourne. Bit of rain. But
really,
yeah.
I've had beautiful weather down my end.
Really? We've had
Yeah,
storms.
it looks spectacular.
Like, it's storms and then it's sunny for a little bit and you go, oh, I'm going to go outside. And then you go outside and it starts bucketing down rain for 10 minutes. And when you come home drenched, it stops raining again. That's been my experience when I've taken my dogs out for a walk.
Yeah.
But yes.
Anyway.
Speaking of getting out and about,
Yeah,
let's just kick it straight off. There is a trade day.
Yep.
Our sponsor, EJ Cards,
Yep.
has a trade day coming up this Friday, November 25th,
Correct.
and we're gonna head down to the store and sort of record a little bit of content down there, do some trading, some wheeling and dealing.
Yep.
Russell's probably gonna have his head in the dollar box for most of
Absolutely.
the evening.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're headed down to Middleborough Road in Blackburn.
Yep.
To see everyone down at EJ Cards. I mean, there's normally an ad here, but let's give them a plug. They've been on board for a while now, haven't they?
Yep.
So huge shout out to EJ Cards.
Yep.
What do they do? Everything.
Pokemon, NBA, AFL.
You name it,
Soccer.
sports,
Yep.
trading cards.
They do breaks.
Yep.
They sell sealed. They sell singles. They buy singles. I think Rob and the team have done a really good job of creating a good culture. And I think
Yep.
when we thought about people that we wanted to get behind our show, they definitely were on the top 3, I would say, of our list.
Yep. Yeah.
I think part of that is because every time you do go down there, you just have a really nice time, and the guys are just great to deal with. So,
Yep.
the address is 3/394 to 398 Middleborough Road in Blackburn.
Yep.
Their web address is ejcards.com.au. If you're looking for more information about the Traders Day, it's actually pinned to our You Can't Comp This Facebook, so it's right at the top.
Yeah, so you won't be able to miss it. Just to go through it, they're having a Twilight Trading Day this Friday, 4 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, come on down. Bring your cards.
Free drinks, free pizza.
Free drinks and pizza. Random prizes to be drawn at random times.
Yeah.
In-store specials on singles, packs, boxes, accessories, everything. Not just NBA, as we were saying, it's Pokemon, it's NBA, it's AFL, it's pretty much anything trading cards.
Yeah.
Plenty of people down there. Russell and I will be down there. We'll be having a good time, hopefully.
Can't wait, mate.
I've got a few little gems that I'll try and flip, and I'll have a flick through the bargain box if there's space.
There'll be no room, mate. It'll
just be Russell just digging through. That should be heaps of fun. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right, let's recap last week, mate. How did you pull up after having a chat with Mike?
It was good.
Yeah.
I spent the better half of the next week just interrupting people and talking over them. And now I understand why Mike likes it. It's a lot of fun. There are a lot of people pretty pissed at me actually, but I'm having a great time. No, in all seriousness, it was an amazing time with Mike. Yes, it was stupid early for him, but oh my god, was it stupid late for us?
I mean, there's no winners in that battle, was there? It didn't matter what time we picked someone.
No,
I think that, to be honest, I think that was a pretty fair compromise, and
no,
there was no really good time for us to do it, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really nice of Mike to come on the show. I had a fantastic time. And look, I mean, when he gave feedback about the show, I was very humbled with what he had to say, and you didn't cry, so we didn't have to delete it from the
we didn't.
The pod.
There was no editing of that.
It was great.
So
what do you think?
My takeaway from it was that just to sit in the same room as a professional like that, it was quite enjoyable, because you could really see what it means to be a professional. It's the little things that he was doing. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I took away from it too is that he said that when they were building up their podcast at the start, they were just putting out their content and everywhere on all the platforms. And that's probably something that we're not doing. So I think that's something that's been on my mind this week about what's next for us, and maybe that's the thing that's next. So
I've got to stop watching TikToks and start making TikToks. Oh, it's daunting.
I mean, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, but look, great time, and I think he was incredibly generous. That was the other thing. He was there for an hour and a half. Like, I was expecting 20, 30 minutes max, so when he was there for 90 minutes, I was just kind of like, this guy is, really going over and above for us. So, I'm very grateful. So.
Yeah. I had a really good time. I think, I hope Mike had a good time, and obviously, we would definitely love to have him or Jesse.
We need to get Jesse on next time, I think.
Yeah. Or just go and hijack their show. Why not? But a lot of fun. Definitely. If when we have the third man in, it's a different dynamic, and that was heaps of fun.
Yeah. So I think the first thing we need to talk about this week is the Logoman 1-of-1 auction that ended. So it ended at $2,600,000.
Yep.
With the buyer's premium, that's just 20%. That takes it up to $3,120,000. So overall, it's down 1.5 mil from the 4.6 million that it previously sold. So what's your thoughts about this? What's your takeaway from all this, Ad?
I don't know why, if I paid $4.6 million for a card, why I would auction it at this point in time.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good example as to why you don't. Like, big ticket items, sure, you might need to, and you obviously don't know who the buyers are, this is big money we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's a huge loss. And we did speak about it. We've spoken about it over the last few months. Sometimes people need it to be liquid, right?
Yeah.
They need to move it because they need capital for the next investment. But that's a big hit. That is a really big hit.
Yeah, it is. And some people online have said a couple of different things about that. Like, one is that they've got money, a lot of money in different places, and they can then write this off as a tax write-off.
I was going to say a tax loss.
Yeah.
Selling a basketball card at a loss a tax loss?
I think if you're registered for billion as a business, and then this is a sale as part of your business, and
true,
so I think
fair.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
The other thing that people said too, and this is like half joke, but also something that I think is going to scratch your inner Adamness, is that it's essentially a form of money laundering. So you're taking dirty money, you buy this card, you sell it, and then it's it's clean money.
Didn't even have my silver hat on for that.
Yeah. So when you talk about regulating the hobby, that's all part of that, isn't it?
Look, it's it's a very interesting way. I mean, I've spoken in the past about it. It's a very easy way to make dirty money clean,
Yeah.
and you're not allowed to bring more than what $10,000 in cash into the country.
Yeah.
But I can carry $2.5 million in cardboard
Yeah.
in my pocket.
Yeah. And no one will say anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Border security are going to go, huh, you nerd, you collect basketball cards
Yeah.
as you walk through with your $2.5 million card.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then the other one that, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, and whoever said this to me in private message, I do apologize if I've said the wrong person, but I think it was ADOS that said it to me, was that what if the original purchase, which was a private sale, was actually not 4.6 million? And that was just like an inflated number that makes you think that's where it should end up roundabout, even if above. You know what I mean? To sort of set that expectation. So that's a little bit of tinfoil hat stuff.
Well, the 4.6 was a shill bid.
Well, maybe it actually sold for 3 million.
Yeah. Oh, best offer accepted.
So, look, so I think my thought about this is, why would you sell it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have this much money that it doesn't matter if you lose $1 million and a bit? Or do you have this much money, but you still don't know about basketball cards, that this is possibly the worst time ever to sell this card because of, season timing in addition to that?
It's it might be a business decision for liquidity purposes. It actually just might be.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a basketball based decision.
Yeah.
Like Luka's been playing, hasn't started the season badly, but his cards have dipped something fierce. You know what I mean? Like, we're not at the end of the season. We're not talking Luka's won the MVP and his cards are spiking.
Yeah.
This is the start of the season. This is definitely not.
The funny thing is, the person that buys this now, I actually think, for me, the comedy out of this is going to be that the person who buys it now flips it at the end of their year when he wins his MVP.
But Ja Morant's going to win the MVP, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, maybe, but wouldn't it be? What I was going to say is, wouldn't it be funny though if it sold
if he
for $5 million at the end of the year? And
so he wins MVP, he puts Dallas on his back, wins the championship. This card is now worth $5 million, and this guy just doubles his money.
I mean, they don't need to win the chip for him to win the MVP, right? Like, it's a regular season award.
I think for it to go up to $5 million, he has to do both.
Yeah.
Might get 3.5 for the MVP, and then
that would just entertain my inner Shaden for it if that happened. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. Alrighty.
True.
So the next one that also sold. Look, and this is an unverified. It's a private sale, but I think we still have to talk about it. The Steph Curry rookie Logoman sold for $5.9 million USD. So the most expensive NBA trading card sales ever. So I suppose
auction. Wow.
Where my thought process is lying with this is this a new trend? Because these rookie cards that have got Logomans in them, are these the new Grail cards moving forward?
Well, they're one of ones. There's no competition on rarity.
Yeah. Because what I'm thinking is, like, moving forward, is it going to be like, the Giannis, the Luka, all these cards that have got these.
Surely there are numbered to 5 and numbered to 10 cards that are going to be worth in that ballpark. But yeah, you're right. Like that one of one is a holy grail type card. And the rookie card for that matter.
Yeah, but is there going to? Well, I suppose what I'm thinking is there going to be a few of these? The sort of all the really big guns. Like you said, Ja Morant before. Zion. Okay, maybe not 5, but is that going to go for 1 or 2 or $3 million, something like that?
True,
do you know what I mean? And because
is that where we think it's going to end up? That it's you're no longer looking for, like, when we see the golden auctions, like, cream of the crop for the month, we've got these $1 million cards. They're all these one of one logo man rookies.
Well, see, I think that.
Because we talked about it last week. We said the RPAs were probably, in the modern era, that kind of card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, better than. Yeah, I don't know.
See, I keep taking this back to Jordan because in the boom there was.
It's all Jordan's fault.
Well, there was talk that the Jordan rookie could get to 1 million, and I really think that
That's when we
that's
read
what
the manifesto, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, but that's what pushed up the sales because when
Yeah.
people were buying them for those 700s, even it went up to like 900, didn't it?
It did. It did. It was.
Yeah.
It's that. But it is that.
But I
The spike and paying future prices for stuff.
Yeah, right. But I think the reason why people felt confident or comfortable paying that price is because they're like, okay, but in the future, this is going to go to 1 million. But the reason why I think that's probably not a great thing is because of just the number of those like cards that there are.
Mm.
Whereas with this, I'm kind of like,
It's the only one.
yeah, well, let's just say there's 4 or 5 Logomen. You know what I mean? Like, even if you blow it out to 5, like, I'm still like, I get that. Like, and if it's, the big dogs like Steph and Luca and even Giannis, I think we have to put Giannis into this conversation too now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay with that. And actually, look, I'm going to throw this in too because a Giannis 1 of 1 sold
156,000 was it?
I think it was 900,000. I might have to go back and edit this out. Give me a second just to fact check this. I'll just put a note down. 15 minutes. 15.
That's right. I thought it was an old 1 of 1. It was a PSA 8 sold for $900 like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And now sold for like 150 grand.
Did I message that to you or did I put it into the chat?
Nah, I think I saw it. I
It's
saw it
into
on
the big chat.
Facebook.
Alrighty, cool. Okay. So I'll just run this in now. Okay, great. So the Giannis 1 of 1 PSA 9 Select, so it's the black prism. It recently sold for 156,000 USD.
Yep.
So the price rise on this is pretty crazy. So 8 years ago, it sold for 656 USD. That's a nice little turnaround for
Bit of a profit,
yeah.
Bit of a profit.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is crazy talk now, but would you prefer a Jordan rookie or would you prefer the 1 of 1 Giannis Select rookie?
That's a tricky one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love a Giannis rookie 1 of 1. Yeah, that's tricky.
See, I think if that was Prism, this is it's a different conversation altogether. But it's Select, which
But it's still a 1 of 1, right?
Yeah, it's a 1 of 1. But
I can go and get that Jordan. If I want it, I can go and get it.
Do you mean like a PSA 5 or a PSA 4 or something like that?
If I want to spend the money, I can get it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's the only one in existence and only one person can own it.
Yeah.
I think that's the differentiating factor. And you're right, like these ones with logo men in them are the cream of the crop, right? But a 1 of 1 assures that the pop count of the card you've got is 1.
This is true.
I mean, can you imagine that? Like, it's like pop count 1, Giannis 1 of 1. Be very surprised if the pop count was 2. But it is Select, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be a tricky one. If you had $200,000 to spend and you were offered this card or a Jordan rookie.
Yeah.
I'd probably lean to the 1 of 1.
Yeah.
Just because with the change, I could probably buy a crappy Jordan rookie because it's not a 1 of 1. The Jordan rookie is in abundance, especially compared to a 1 of 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm down with that. Anyway. Alrighty. So from 1 of 1 to the product 1 and 1.
Because that's not confusing.
So 1 and 1 is out, and I think that the hype behind this product has been pretty good. It's got beautiful RPAs in it. It's got the Timeless Moments cards. It's got the Downtowns in it. And this year they've now added, I almost want to call them leftover sneaker spotlights, but it's got sneaker spotlights in it now too, which traditionally sneaker spotlights is in Noir. So the other thing that I think 1 of 1 do really well is base cards, because even if you pick up one on the aftermarket or you're lucky enough to hit one in a break, that even though they're base cards, and I'm using like air quotes at the moment, base, they're actually very beautiful cards. And then in addition to that, I think the other thing that I quite like too is that if you're getting a non-rookie, so a patch auto, then it's all game worn stuff. which we talk so much about, if something like particularly rookie stuff, is it game worn or is it just, some napkin patch? But this stuff it's all game worn.
It's
So
all legit, yeah.
yeah, the rookie stuff isn't. Sorry, just to clarify what I'm talking about. I'm talking specifically about the veteran stuff, but the rookie
Yeah.
stuff is napkin patch stuff. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about specifically with you, Ad, is the timeless moments, because this product is definitely occupying a lot of my mental headspace, I have to admit. And I'm really enjoying it. And I
Yeah.
think the other reason why I've chose this particular set to talk about and break down with you is because they are timeless moments, and more to that, they've also chosen a very, very classic checklist. And I'm sort of in this funny spot at the moment where I really value buying rookie cards and putting rookie cards into my collection, but I'm sort of like experimenting, or I'm fluffing around with some old timers. Like I picked up a Gail Goodrich recently, and I've picked up a Bill Russell, and I'm kind of like, I need a Magic Johnson, and I also want a Kareem. So I've sort of got a few ideas going around in my head
On the boil, yeah.
yeah, like, what's going to be next for me. So when you look at this checklist, like it's pretty neat, man. Just running through it quickly: Steph Curry, Dwayne Wade, Anthony Simons. We can talk about that later. Ja Morant, Allen Iverson, Nikola Jokic, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Paul, Jason Tatum, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, Amari Stoudemire. Again, we can talk about that later. Ray Allen, Bradley Beal, Vince Carter, and Dirk Nowitzki. It's a 20-card set. I have to point this out, though. It goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So number 4 is missing there. I couldn't find that in the checklist of Beckett, and I couldn't find it on Cardboard Connection either. So if anyone's listening out there and they know who is the secret number 4 card, please let me know, because it's annoying me that I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, didn't Andrew Dean wrote in the chat that it was LeBron, but you said because he doesn't sign, obviously, he might be in the checklist.
So to clarify that explicit point, so it's a little bit confusing. They've actually done 2 sets. There's one is called Timeless Moments Autographs.
Yeah.
And the other one is called Timeless Moments. So in the Timeless Moments without the autograph, it's LeBron James, Giannis, KD, and there's a couple of others. But I just wanted to talk about the autograph set, just because I think, they just absolutely got me frothing these cards, honestly. So what's your thoughts about this checklist, mate?
I'm intrigued by it. The big one I want to I just want to know what each moment is.
Yeah. So
like, do you know what I mean? Like, it says Steph Curry, and I'm like, that man's had a number of moments.
Yeah.
That's just it intrigues me.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do want to find that out, on the eBay listing, just search for the card.
Yeah.
And they'll often list more than one picture. Just click through and it'll have it on the back, and it actually gives you the explanation of that moment. So the Steph Curry one is when he broke the 3-point record.
Yep.
That's what that shot is. Yeah.
Yep. And then I did see
some of them aren't even particularly specific moments. They're just like celebrating that player's life. Like the Shaq one is, him doing a dunk, and the Kareem one is him doing a skyhook, and he's doing it over his arch enemy, the Lakers, right?
Yeah. I do like the Steph one where Ados is pointed out the guy that's like watching his phone while Steph breaks the record. Now that is timeless. Imagine being that guy. Oh my god. Clearly you're right. Shaq is the iconic. That's what his statue is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's how timeless it is. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Some of them are really weird to me, like the Amari Stoudemire one. Why did they have to put him into the checklist? So, like for me, if you wanted to put so I think part of the reason why he's in there is because they wanted someone from the Phoenix Suns. So I could have gone Charles Barkley instead of Stoudemire. I could have gone Steve Nash.
Nash would have been a big one, a good one.
I'm going to take a deep cut here, but hear me out on this one. I could have gone Tom Chambers. You remember that dunk that he did when he literally jumped over the person? He had his knees like in the person's neck and dunked the ball. Like I would have had that as as a
Yeah.
timeless moment. Like that's amazing for me. There's a couple of moments on here where I'm like, I don't really understand. Like the classic one for me is the Ray Allen. See, I think they missed an opportunity here because remember that shot that he hit
That against the
against the
Spurs.
Spurs? Yeah, right. See, you knew at the same time I was
As
saying it, right?
soon
Like,
as you said Ray Allen, that's the
yeah,
first thing I think about.
that's right. Yeah. And then same as the Vince Carter one. So for me, they could have had him doing, anything from the dunk competition. They could have had the dunk when he dunked over Frederick Weiss. I mean, maybe that's in the Olympics, so that's tricky to put in there. But and then the other one is Dirk Nowitzki. I really think that his number being retired, like a lot of players have had their numbers being retired. So why do they have to choose that moment? Like it could have been. I actually think that the moment for him when his career changes when he won the championship, because
Yeah.
if you think about it, if he didn't beat that Miami Heat team, I don't think we would think about him in the same way that we do now. So I think him doing that one-footed, or I should
Yeah.
say wrong-footed jump shot, I think that's what really should have been Dirk's moment, I think. But look, still, it's an awesome card.
Yeah.
If you could choose one card ad, what would you choose?
It's the purple and gold in me. I'm down to Shaq and Magic.
Yeah,
I
the
think I'm
Magic's
picking
nice.
Magic. Magic is yeah.
The Magic is nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Magic is beautiful.
Look, I'm really high on this Kareem card.
I was gonna say if I wanted a Shaq in my collection, that's the
Yeah.
Shaq I would have.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think to be honest, narrowing it down to one is actually pretty tricky. But if you really pushed me, I think also too, if you ask me again in 3 months' time, I would probably answer a different card. It's just the moment in time where I am now, where I really want to get a Kareem. I think this is
That Kareem is
a
just
beautiful card. Yeah. So for all the listeners out there, if you do want to get onto our Facebook page, we've actually set up a poll where you go in there. I've got all of the timeless moments cards on there. And to vote, all you need to do is click like on the picture or the card that you want.
You can do what I've done and just like all of it.
You can vote more than once too, because I think that's important. Because what I'm going to do at the end is then I'll set up like a ranking system, so then we can actually say, here are the top 10 as voted by our listeners. So that's what we're going to do for that.
Yeah.
Add final thoughts for this before we move on.
Final thoughts. Yeah. I really want to know the Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade timeless moments. Timeless moments is they don't sign anything and you just wait.
Typical annoying Chris Paul, isn't it? That he hasn't signed on time. Like just go away, Chris Paul.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny when you think about it. He'd probably play for 3 other teams before he signs it. Anyway.
Alrighty, so this is a little bit of an internal debate with myself about crossover. So you purchased a card that is, say, SGC or HGA or something like this BGS, and you want to cross it over to the King, which is PSA. When is the right time to do it? What is the right card to cross over? And then also to, what's your risk profile here? So just to lay a little bit of a groundwork, I bought a PC card. I bought it in SGC 9.5, and the reason why I think that the card went for a lot less than, in my personal opinion, what the card should have sold for is because it was in an SGC slab. I think the timing of the auction was probably also a little bit off because it was in the off season. And then I almost immediately sent it into Slab. So Slab have previously supported our podcast in the past. And just to give a little bit of a shout out to Khalil, he runs a very, very tight ship. The communication is very good. Very smooth process. Anyway, that aside, shout out to Khalil though. I sent it off. The crossover fee is $100, so that moves it above the economy one. So just to give you a bit of background on that, I sent this in about 3 weeks after my economy submission, and my economy submission is still in America. So it's basically like 2 months faster if you do send it in the crossover. You can pop the card out of the slab if you want yourself and then send it in as a regular card, but I just don't have the stomach to do that. And also too, the cost of getting them to do it is not that much more than to do it yourself. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like that much money. I was like, I have to do this myself. So so my card was a SGC 9.5. It came back as a PSA 9. So you could definitely argue that I lost the battle.
But you'll win the war.
Well, this is the interesting thing because the overwhelming response on the social media post was everyone said PSA except for one person. Ryan Jewell said SGC.
Yeah.
And someone else said BGS. So that to me was, oh, and one person said Raw too. John Italia. Hello, John. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Um, that to me was, that's an interesting one. What's your thoughts, Ad? Oh, I've sort of set the stage for you, so
You
hopefully.
have. It's very much like I wouldn't be doing crossing over many cards. I think I've got one that
Yeah,
I'm curious to cross over.
yeah.
I've got a Kobe rookie that's is it BCCG or one of the Beckett ones?
The Beckett subsidiary. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 10. Now, am I going to send off a Kobe refractor like rookie card that if that comes back a PSA 10, that's a lot of money. Comes back a 9, I'm very disappointed.
Mm.
But like where do you grade it? Like how do you scale it? And I guess the thing is why are you crossing it? With the hope that it's valued higher because it gets a more prestigious grade.
Well, to be honest with you, the price that I paid for this in the SGC slab, I really felt like I was playing with like basically house
Playing
money.
the house money, okay.
Honestly, like, so
Because it's a scale. It scales, doesn't it? Like let's call a spade a spade. PSA gets the biggest premium, right?
yeah. So look, to be perfectly honest, my thought process behind this was I got it for such a good price. I felt like I had extra money in my pocket, so I was like, I've never
Yeah.
done this before. I wanted to do it.
So it's an
And I thought,
experiment, more of an experiment.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do this, and I thought it had
Sure.
a good chance to go from 9.5 to 10. Okay, so
Yep.
that's the truth of it. And
Yeah,
then
of course.
after that, it was either going to be a PC thing or something I would sell and then roll it back into my PC anyway. So do you know what I mean? Like
Sure,
it's
sure.
either
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
in
yeah.
it's either going to be in my PC or it's going to add to my PC. So that's why I did it. Look,
Yeah.
there was a lot of reasons why I did it, but that's basically the summary of it. And so, I mean, look, I do probably prefer PSA at the end of the day over SGC,
Yeah.
but would I do it again knowing that it's essentially dropped a 0.5 of a grade? Like,
Well, that's the thing though. Like, is what I'm saying is because PSA don't grade in 0.5s, right?
I think they do under 8, don't they? Or is it under 9?
Yeah. Well, 9s and 10. There's no 9.5s.
That's
Is
right,
the
yeah.
main thing, right?
Yeah.
So if we're talking about PSA 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and then well, we've looked at it when we comp things. So BGS 9.5
Yeah.
is better than a PSA 9, but nowhere near a PSA 10.
Correct. I think it
But
also depends.
a BGS 9 isn't the same as a PSA 9.
No, PSA 9 would generally go a bit higher. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a scale of things, and no criticism to SGC, but PSA is where you get the premium.
Yeah.
As far as money goes. Going, okay, well, I convert this from an SGC 9.5, which against the PSA 10 is nothing, right? But to a PSA 9, my question is there a comparison? Is there parity? Or are you still making a profit comp-wise an SGC 9.5 versus a PSA 9?
Look, I suspect at the end of the day with this particular card, just the way the market was then and also the way that... Sorry, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I even said this, and I'm trying not to really make this all about Darren Fox. It was a Darren Fox rookie card.
Yeah, that's
It was a-
fine. Like
It was a big
it's not
pulse out
a...
of 42, yeah. I mean, look,
Yeah.
the way that Fox is playing now, like the truth is probably if I'd have kept it in the SGC slab, it would have gone up anyway, right? And
Yeah,
I'd probably say that, the 9 has gone up a little bit too, to be honest.
probably. He's been playing really well.
But I suppose what I'm really thinking about here is like the bigger picture. Is this something that is actually a viable thing moving forward?
Mm.
Is there something that there is actually a play to be made? Look, I think you need to do a cost analysis because it does cost $100 to do the crossover.
It's an analysis and a risk calculation.
Yeah, and then also too, you do need to sort of come to the fact that well, maybe I got lucky getting a 9. Like it could have been worse. I could have got an 8. I think if I got an 8, I definitely would have sunk the ship.
It would have been, don't do this. This is silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've actually got another card that I'm thinking about crossing over,
Okay.
and it's in a BGS slab, and it's really, if this came back as a 10, I feel like I would have already filled out the form and sent that other one off. But now this has come back at a 9. It's actually like a good sort of reality check for me of like,
Mm.
Is this really what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I've still got my one that I'm like, do I cross it over? Do I not cross it over? Is it a flat fee to cross over?
It is, yeah. But I would also say, I would assume though too, like if this had to come back as a 10 and it was a bigger card, I think you would then pay the
Upcharge.
upcharge if it was appropriate.
Okay.
I would say for your card though,
I would send it. I should cross it probably.
no, I was actually going to say I don't think so because I think that the year of that card, that was the appropriate way to get the card graded.
True.
And I really think the real risk for you would be is that you go from
a 10 to a
essentially
9.
a BGS 10 to a 9.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could be catastrophic. You're right. Tough one.
But I would also say too, I'm definitely not a Kobe expert, and I'm also not a BCCG expert either. So maybe we almost need a consultant to come in and give us a hand. I wonder if Paris would be able to give us a consult on this.
Maybe.
Let's ask Paris. He's a friend of the show.
Yep.
I've got a sneaking suspicion he'll have an opinion about this.
Be good.
Alrighty. Andrew Dean did a very lovely post for us about comps. Adam, do you want to lead this one, mate?
Oh, brace yourself. Comps are coming. Andrew Dean, our group expert, put in comps. What are your thoughts on the positive and negative aspects of using comps as the only true measure of the value of a card?
Yeah.
I don't completely agree with that statement, but I use comps as a basis, as one of many bases to value a card. I think we've talked about this in other forums about how to grade. Like, if you've got something that you can't comp, how do you make the decision? So obviously it's a tool, but comping can be, in my eyes anyway, very fraught with danger. It's very interesting how people use comps to skew data in their favor, depending if they're the buyer or the seller, is what I'll lead with. Have you got an opinion on this before we go through any of what the listeners have sort of chipped in with?
I mean, I've really tried so many different approaches to comps. Like when I used to do sales and I was looking at comps, I would take, say, the medium comp. If I looked at the last 3, I would do that.
Yeah.
And then other times I've taken a comp and then just say it was $25 and then I would sell it for 25 Aussie dollars. And to be fair, that's when the exchange was a bit stronger. So, the difference wasn't as much, but that was a way that I tried to make it fairer. And then my brother likes to take the last 3 comps and average it out, which I think is a very fair way to do it.
That's very fair, yeah.
I think my current strategy now, to be brutally honest, is that I will look for a comp and I'll try and find the highest comp in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll use that price as my listing price.
Yep.
And my thinking behind that is because it's almost guaranteed now that even if you comp it at a fair price, someone's going to come in and lowball you anyway. So I sort of feel like now it's like, well, this is the price that I'm asking, and then if someone makes an offer, a crappy offer, it's probably still better than what I was going to get if I started off at a low point. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not that many people that will go to sales and accept your sort of, your first price. So that's probably where I'm at in that space. I mean, the thing that at the end of the day, I think where comps are probably not right is that all the data isn't captured. So
Yeah, true.
even if you use 130 point, which now it's got two features, it's got all the different listings
Yeah.
and categories compiled into one, or it's just got eBay, but that still misses private sales, and it still misses trade shows, and it misses Facebook, and
Mm.
Twitter sells a lot of cards these days. You can buy a lot of cards off Instagram.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't capture any of those. And if we're being reasonable and we're being, transparent here, like those sales do matter. So, you know, I suppose the flip side to that is the volume that you get through eBay. Like you get a lot of card sales through eBay. So it's not like it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, no.
0 point sample size.
It's a tough one because I mean, you go back to and this is when I started collecting. This is like the 90s, right? I would wait for the newest Beckett to come out,
Yeah.
and then that would be what the card was worth until the next Beckett came out.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously that's how things worked in the 90s, and then the internet happened. And do you know what I mean? Like price guides got more fluid, and then we had like obviously we've moved forward a long way from there,
Yeah.
but completed listings in this day and age, and I referred to it earlier, shill bidding and things like that. Like comps aren't always the most accurate of data.
Yeah, that's the other problem too with the eBay. Well, not just eBay listings. I think, to be honest, I think
Listings in general.
PWCC can be shielded. I mean,
Yeah,
anything can be shielded.
of
Like,
course. And
yeah,
and then there was I mean, we go through the comments here. There's a reference here. Is it Matt Tabe talking about the sold on it changing the actual price and use the $ OLD on a listing. So people go through the marketplace or the Facebook sales,
yeah,
but people change the price to sold, so you don't know what it sold for. So you can't actually use that as a comp, is what they're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's it's tough. I guess
I,
it's
I think I mean, for me, at the end of the day, comps are important though, because if you are selling cards if you're listing cards on a marketplace, I think for transparency and I think for fairness, it's good to have some type of reference point. And because I think the issue is, so the page that I'm currently moderating, but I don't spend a lot of time doing, is the US Sports Cards Australia page.
yeah
So we've got two. We've got the break page, which I spend the majority of my time on. Then we've got like the parent page. It's a rule of that page, and it's the same as John O'Michael's page. I think they call their page Sports Cards Addicts.
yeah
It's basically a condition that you need to coin your card, because then it shows that you're in ownership of the card, and you also need to comp it. And I think the reason for that is so that there's some fairness for the buyer and also for the seller.
yeah
And I think at the end of the day, whether your comp is right or wrong, as long as you've gone to some effort to, provide some type of, proof, I think that definitely is important, because and I'm saying this in the kindest way, some people don't always sell with the
best of intentions.
with the
There we go.
fairest of intentions,
Yeah.
So it does help in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the comments. Ryan Jewell personally views buy now versus auction as completely different. No one ever takes the condition into account for comps. And that's something I've noticed. Like, when I'm comping something, I try and get... If I've got a PSA 9 card, well, I don't care what the last 5 PSA 10 sold for. I've got to find a PSA 9 to compare it to.
Yeah.
And if I can't, you've got to find justification to scale it. And I think what you've alluded to there is, as long as you can... This is a buying and selling in a collectibles market is... Everyone's a salesperson. You need to justify your asking price.
Yeah.
And your buyer needs to be convinced that is a worthy sell price for them to accept the price.
Yeah.
It is. we all need to do a little bit of selling in that sense. And comps are the easiest way to do it, right? Like, don't get me wrong, comps, it's like, it has sold for this amount. This is why I'm in this ballpark and asking for this figure.
Yeah, sure.
Now, whether or not they're shield bids, whether or not they were, it was bought low compared to what you thought it would go. It was the Luca 1 of 1. You go to comps, all right? Are you gonna show someone the comp where it sold for 2.6 million? Or are you gonna show the comp where it went for 4.6 million?
Yeah, well, the thing about that though is, it's all in that instance, in that specific example, it's also dated.
Yeah, true.
So, that's also part of doing your own research before you're buying cards.
True.
And it's the ownership is not 100% on the seller, by the way. The buyer has to take some ownership here.
Yeah.
So
but I just think, as I said, all I was saying is it's a discussion, it's an engagement, it's a negotiation is selling, right? Now, you might not be happy with who you're negotiating with, but at the end of the day, the buyer will pay what they're prepared to pay.
Yeah.
We'll go through these comments, and Matt Tabe said he would debate percentage of auctions on Facebook aren't taken into account.
Yeah,
As I said, a lot of the sold stuff, where people change it from the price to sold, you don't get that data. We've both said that, incomplete amount of data, but it's just a tool. Comping is just a tool. Then Carl got into it with Andrew, and I'll give the quick bit. But basically, Carl said, "Look, it's just what the buyer's willing to pay for it is the true value." No, and there's an agree to disagree factor there, but what Carl's getting at is, it's a negotiation, and at the end of the day, you get to that negotiating point. The buyer will not pay more than they're prepared to pay. But that doesn't make it the true value of the card. There's something that's comparable. Diamonds. You go to a jewelry store. Like, there's a diamond, it has a grade, it has a value. Right? It puts a ballpark figure on it. Like, there is an assumed ballpark value. Depending which jeweler you shop at, you know what I mean? If I pay for that grade of diamond from Tiffany, I'm paying a lot more money than if I'm buying it from Rob the jeweler.
I personally think this really depends on the angle of the transaction that you're looking at. Because essentially, I think Andrew's saying, well, it's either it's going to be underpriced, or Carl's saying, well, it's the correct price. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not too sure if there's a right or a wrong in that particular thing. That's just a matter of that's perspective, isn't it? That's what we're really
correct.
Talking about,
Yeah,
is perspective. So look, my addition to this is what I think about when I read this. The other thing that I've actually started to do now is look at card ladder, because the data that card ladder tells you is that card trending upwards or is that card trending downwards?
Okay. Yeah.
So when I'm doing my eBay bids, and to be honest, I buy more of eBay than any other platform. It's easy. And there's a heap of cards on there. That's at the end of the day. That's as simple as that. If I know something is trending upwards, I will put an extra 10 to 20% on it, because I know for a fact that it's trending in that direction, right? Whereas the opposite way, I'll put in so I only bid once. I put in one bid and then that's it. And then when my bid is in, if something is going downwards, well, then I'm anticipating that there's going to be a bit of extra cash in my pocket at the end of that transaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's how I sort of approach that. And I would say the same thing to sales too. Like, the classic example of that was Josh Primo. As soon as that dude got put up for, sexual harassment charges, like, people were dumping that stuff faster than they could get the posts approved on pages, right? So
yeah. It's interesting. It's a fickle market that we play in.
Yeah, that it is.
It's an interesting little sandbox.
So now this is a different question altogether, but I thought I'd just run through this with you anyway, because I think this question is a lot like our pocket change thing, where, we're always talking about high-end cards. We need to talk a bit of low-end. So we just talked like a high-end question. Now this is a very low-end question. So We are totally new to trading cards. My sons are starting to collect. Moved on from Ushis. I've seen brands NBA Hoops or Prism. Is one better than the other? Do we collect both? Help.
Oh my
Thanks in
god. So,
advance.
alright, what's an Ushi?
I don't know, but I
I'm
think it's
Googling.
that. Isn't that the chocolate thing? And then inside the Ushi, it's got a little toy.
These are cool.
Isn't that what that an
Oh, I
Ushi
want
is?
I want Ushis now.
I think my kid's got some Ushis.
I'll swap some basketball cards for some Ushis. How's that?
They've probably got heaps
I'm
of
down.
Ushis.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay. I know what Ushis are now. I'm
back to
down with it.
topic, Ad. Come on, mate.
Sorry.
So what advice would you give to a brand new collector?
Don't go overboard. Really, don't go overboard. Play within your limit. If we're totally new, so if her sons are 12 and they get an allowance of $5 a week, and packets of hoops are $3 each, then every 2 or 3 weeks I can go out and get a couple of packs of hoops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're never going to. Because I quickly just googled Ushis. Knowing what they are, I would say hoops.
Yeah.
Go for the set. Do you know what I mean? Go for the set. Buy your few packs of hoops. Start building up some cards. If you've got friends at school, trade with your friends at school. But if you're going to enter the scary world of buying and selling on the Facebook platforms, definitely reach out and be looking to complete your set of hoops.
Yeah.
A safe space if mum's the one monitoring it. But start small, but enjoy it. Do what you do what keeps it enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want your 12-year-old son all of a sudden trying to steal money from mum because he wants an extra pack of Prism. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be relative, yeah? So
Yeah.
that would be my advice, is collect what you can afford to collect.
Yeah.
And I think hoops is a great starting point, especially for kids. Some nice looking cards, and you can get them down at Kmart. You can get them, you know what I mean? Like, you can go to the shopping centre and be a couple of stores there that have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. My advice is, and I would agree with what you said, by the way. I think that's very sound advice. Creating a budget and sticking to it. I think that's very important. I would watch more breaks, because that's something that I did, I would say, after a couple of years. And I think the advantage of watching breaks is you get to see a lot of product. Because if you think about how much product gets broken every day, like, you can watch cases and cases, and you can really get a feel of the products that you like, and also the cards that you can chase. And the reason I say that is because I think at the moment buying singles aftermarket
Yeah.
is actually a very, very good play, in particular when you are on a budget and if you're chasing veterans cards. So the classic example for that, mate, is 1-1. No, I'm serious.
I
If you
know.
want to get veteran cards on the aftermarket, you can buy those for, to be honest, probably less than what you would pay for a break spot.
Yeah.
In a single hobby box break, right? So
Yeah.
that would be that.
Yeah,
The
good
other
point.
thing I would do too is I would definitely buy into breaks. If you have a team, I would buy your team in breaks, and I would buy into player breaks. That's like, they're the two things. Now, going on from your point about buying packs, the only thing I would not disagree with, but I would add to that is I would try and get your parents to buy you a complete hobby box. So you get mum and dad to buy you the whole hobby box.
Yep.
Then you pay them $5 a week, and then you get a packet out of that. Now, I've just actually looked at my inventory. So I've got hoops on hand for $235 for a hobby box. And I actually don't know how many packets is in the box, but I said there was 20. So my calculator then says it's $11.75 per packet. So then I would be saving up my pocket money for that $11.75 and then buying a packet off mum and dad for that. And the reason I say that specifically is because in hoops you get one autograph per box, because you want to get the box hits. And then in addition to that, you also want to get the case hit, which is it's the dual auto. So this year it was Cade and everyone else. The year before it was Ja Morant, and the year before that it was Luka. So like they're really, really like the case hits in hoops are actually really good, and I think that hoops get poo pooed, but I think they put a lot of effort into hoops. I think the graphic art is good. The dialogue on the back of the cards is good. The stats are good. I used to love all that type of stuff, and the inset sets are really cool. So
I was going to say the first set I ever completed was hoops.
yeah,
Before I completed the set of Upper Deck. Upper Deck was just too big a set. I don't know what it was.
yeah,
It was 400 cards or something. Anyway, it was
yeah. I
was-
mean, and you could also play that same game. You could. I mean, the problem is with like Prism is you probably couldn't afford a box of Prism Hobby.
yeah,
What?
not for hobby. No,
It's like
but
about a grand,
there's Prism.
right?
There's Prism retail out there.
The problem with retail is this year
No,
there's
no
not
autos.
well, there's not a set autograph in each box. You might get an autograph, you might not. And I think if you're a kid,
Not getting one would suck.
yeah, I think in that sense, like,
That's
you know,
fair.
hoops hobby is more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also too, some of the QC out of Prism retail this year has been a bit like Optic retail last year. Some of that was really bad. Some of it's fine, if not perfect, but some of it is like really bad. So you have to like, you know, put that out there.
Yeah.
So that would be, you know, my few things. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look. As far I think that's really sound advice. Like doing the buy box because then you get the hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if it sounds, and this is making a lot of assumptions with just seeing a Facebook post.
Yeah.
But if you bought the Ushies, that means you were getting the vouchers at the supermarket to get the little collectible figurine things. So I'm guessing it's a pack a week kind of thing for
Yeah.
basketball cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, get a box, write a list to Santa. Say, Santa, get me a box of Prism Hobby. Santa might just get you retail, but
hoops hobby. I think honestly,
Hoops Hobby, yeah.
like, yeah, can't go wrong. I think if you're a kid. Alrighty,
Yeah.
I say we skip Kurt's card care and do that next week. How do you feel about that?
Yep, let's do it. Next
Yeah.
week. Done.
Bowl.
Bowl.
26 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, 12 of 21 from the field in 35 minutes, which was his career high on his 23rd birthday. So, how are you feeling about Bowl right now?
Bowl. What do you say? Like you've got to be high. You got to be high on Bowl at
Last
the
sold
moment.
for 118 USD.
Oh really?
Starting price in the last 3 months was $64, so he's up 84%.
I think. Yeah,
So-
we're seeing the second coming of Bowl.
Yeah, right. So I feel like the last time we spoke about this dude was we were like, not too sure about this. Hold tight. Whereas now I'm like, I think this is a strong buy because I don't think this is a fluke anymore.
He's coming into his own, yeah.
I think he's really set in that rotation. I think he can coexist with Banchero.
Yeah,
And I think
true.
he's actually beaten a couple of guys out in that rotation, to be honest. So,
Surprising.
yeah.
Very surprising.
Yeah. And he's got skills and he has, you know, some skills lacking, but his teammates really, you know, fill in that sort of shot creation stuff for him. He's really good. And he's just, you know, ridiculously rangy too. I think he's going to get better, to be honest. I don't think this is the ceiling for him. So, what's your thoughts, Ad?
I'm still not going to buy him, but you're right. I think it's definitely we're in an uptrend, and I think well, look at his age. He's only 23, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
See, the reason why this has moved into my sort of strong buy is because I think this meets the Ferrugia rule.
you reckon the hype is real?
What-
So, all right. So I feel like there's a countermeasure here, in that the team he's on is
But whether the hype is real or not is irrelevant. I think the hype is there.
Oh, okay. So the hype is there. Okay. I doubt the hype because it's Orlando.
But the Magic have actually been pretty good this year. If you,
Yeah.
to be honest, I've overwatched the Magic. I've spent too much time watching them. I'll acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But I think they've been good for what they are. Like, they're a very, very young team.
Yeah, this is true.
And they've got
This is
holes in
true.
their roster, but they've been
All right. So if he's a
playing well.
buy,
Yeah.
right? Where at what point does it become a hold? Like
Oh, look,
where is the ceiling? Where
so
is the ceiling?
if you're asking me now, if you got any ball, I think now is a hold. I don't
Yeah.
think now is a sell, because again, if you're just going by the trend, I suspect that, look, I don't think it's going to keep going at 84%. That's ridiculous. But will it keep going up, say, another
Are
10%
we
for the
going to
rest
hit
of the year?
200 US?
I don't think that's outrageous.
Okay.
In fact, if it goes higher than that, I
Okay.
don't think that's outrageous. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out where the ceiling is, and you're right. The Faruja rule is in effect here. He's definitely playing out of his skin, and the hype is real.
Yeah.
Um, the question is, how hyped are Orlando?
Yeah.
And that'd be my only doubt on it. Is Orlando kind of brings it down. He was balling out for a franchise that is competing for a championship. That's a different story in my eyes. That is headline news. Um, but
But the
yeah,
thing, see, my response to that is that I think Banchero is going to be really good. Like,
is he injured?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. I thought I heard something today.
Well, while I'm finishing off this thought, you scoot through that.
I'm googling.
So last week on the pod, I think it's pretty fair to say I was like frothing over Banchero. Like we did a Banchero segment, like, and I think the reason we did it is because I'm just super high on this kid. But see, if you put the Banchero timeline with the Bol timeline, if you move 2 years into the future, Bol is still healthy and he's progressing along with the rest of that team, and he's now being dragged along by Banchero.
Yeah,
My
Banchero's got a twisted, sprained ankle.
Yeah, look,
It's
there was
alright.
nothing that came into my feed that said he was mortally wounded. So
No, just a
yeah,
sprain.
yeah,
Miss
really
a
good.
miss a week. It's alright.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the next thing on the rundown is select throwbacks. So I've been watching select breaks. I'm a big fan of select, but this particular set has really taken my eye because so what they've done is they've created this set called select throwbacks, and they're all game worn patches. And the people in this checklist, not all of them are champions, but it's a very good checklist. LeBron
Mm.
James, Chris Paul, Paul George, Andrew Wiggins, SGA in a Clippers uniform, um, Gordon Hayward, Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, Gallinari, Nicholas Batum, Bogdanovich, Markel Fultz in a 76ers uniform. So if you really enjoy game worn product, and this is what really got me intrigued about this set. And if you want to get something from LeBron James game worn at a lower price point, I
Mm.
think you really need to look at this set a lot. Okay, so if you go onto eBay and specifically looking for the LeBron James,
Yeah.
you can get a black patch, a white patch, or a copper patch. Um, if it's numbered to 49, the patch actually doesn't change. The price point does go up
Mm.
from base to number to 49. However, if you can go to 25, that's when the patch gets amazing. So it then becomes a tricolor patch. I'm talking about LeBron James
Yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah. So you got a black, white, red patch,
Yeah.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is though, once it goes to 25, the price point goes from say $50 US, it goes up to $359 US, and actually two is sold. So
Yeah.
I didn't check if it was the same card selling twice. One sold for
350 and
359,
450.
one sold for 449 USD. So we're talking like big bananas there. But
Yeah.
the reason why I'm probably specifically highlighting this checklist is because a bit like how we spoke about the other week where first off the line select, is a little bit under the radar.
Yeah.
I think this
The
checklist is also
throwbacks.
going to fall under the radar. And if you're looking to pick up some LeBron James game worn, I think this is a really good play. I think
Yeah.
it's a really, really good play. And I'm not particularly talking about an investment because, again, this is a set that's under the radar. So it's more
Yeah.
like
PC. It's more of a PC thing.
Do you want to own a piece of LeBron James, game worn? I do, because I don't have a lot of I don't have any LeBron James game worn. So this is something I'm definitely going to be, putting my sights on. So,
Nice.
now this is really interesting though. So if you click on the link I put in their ad, the one of this has actually been hit. So it was, and so someone
is that the one of one on the screen? Wow.
Yeah, so it's an amazing patch.
That is juicy.
Yeah, black, red, and white. It's the one of one. It wasn't hit by Backyard Break, and someone was asking about that. So it was hit by jaspyscasebreaks.com. So yeah,
They must have got one of Backyard Breaks' cases.
I don't know. Maybe they got a better case. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
Final thoughts on this, buddy?
It's an interesting one. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a PC piece more than anything. Because the first couple of comments there I saw on that thread, people were like, "Who wants a Miami LeBron piece?" It's like, it's game worn LeBron. If you're a LeBron collector,
yeah,
it's exactly what you want.
I think, and being pragmatic too, right? If you want a piece of LeBron memorabilia, autographs for most people are just completely out of reach.
Who doesn't want a bit of Markelle Fultz from the 76ers?
Look, I do. I personally think
Gordon Hayward Jazz.
Fultz is a buy for me at the moment, but you'll
and
be
get
able
him in that juicy Philly uniform.
You'll be able to remind me about my my full.
Hey, look, no, your hot take on the Utah Jazz. Can we update this right now? As we speak, the Utah Jazz are 12-6. They have lost 3 and won 2.
It's making me look foolish.
It's not. I didn't realize they'd won 2. I thought they were 11-6. But anyway, it's okay. They've doubled their losses. Danny Ainge needs to learn how to tank.
I mean, okay, let's just talk about this for 2 seconds. This is our first official segue. So what do you now do though? If you're the Jazz, do you now look to add pieces to help them try and win? Like seriously, what?
Exactly. What, now that you've resigned to the fact that it's likely that the New Orleans Pelicans will get the pick because they get Los Angeles' pick? I don't know. I actually don't know. I still think it's a long season, and they could be a complete train wreck by the mid-May point. Do you know what I mean?
But like Mike was saying, the numbers aren't in favor of my theory right now.
No. But they could go on a very bad tear. Some soft injuries could occur. There's ways to tank. I mean, it will be blatant, should be investigated by the league level of moves if they lose that many games. Like, I legit think it would warrant a league investigation if they were to go on this crazy losing streak. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're below 500 after 30 games, they somehow, like, drop to 15-15.
Like, in my heart, I still think that team was built to lose.
Same.
And so now what I'm thinking is, like, what can they do to lose? And I think Markkanen is,
Markkanen needs to get injured.
Markkanen's the story here. So I suppose...
And he won't. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, but... So, if you think about this from Danny Ainge's perspective, he doesn't think about people so much as basketball players. He thinks about them as assets and trade chips.
Yeah.
So who is the best trade chip on the Jazz? I personally think it's Markkanen at the moment.
Yeah.
And what could they get back for him? So could they trade him to a fringe contender, say the Bucks or the Warriors? The Warriors need a bit of a pep at the moment.
Yeah.
Is there a package that could be put together around Wiseman and picks that bring in Markkanen to the Warriors, who would fit really well in that sort of read and react system, and a big guy that can shoot and move. So, I mean, look, I'm completely just pulling out rubbish now just to fit my own narrative. But you know what I'm trying to say, like
it's an interesting quandary they're in.
Is that Danny's next play?
And I wouldn't put that past Danny Ainge, to be honest.
Then he gets another pick.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Alrighty, end of segue. Let's get back to what
That's-
were we talking about?
I don't know.
Pocket change. Pocket change. What's your pocket change of this week, Ad?
Pocket change. I haven't got. I put a picture up on Facebook. I did it.
You did.
I did it. I was very proud of the picture I
You
found.
did.
It actually says pocket change on it.
And we got lots of
We did.
responses to it. So do you want to run through those, mate?
We'll start off with yours straight away. Outbid on a Patrick Williams. What did that end up going for? They go for $10.50.
Yeah, that was the final sale price.
Wow. Number to one is a blue wave or $1.99.
It's unnumbered.
Okay.
But
Still,
it also had been sent off to, I don't even know what company this is, but, someone to take the effort to get graded. Like, you just pop it out of the slab.
what have we got? Capital Cards. Pascal Siakam. PSA 9. $11.60 US. Pretty sweet. That's a very good pickup.
Yeah.
Then ADOS just...
I think ADOS is pretty high on Şengün. I think that's pretty fair
You
to
reckon?
say.
Do you
I
reckon?
think so he found a whole heap of Prism rookies there for basically $1 each.
Yeah.
$8. Yep. I'm
Yeah.
down with that.
Yeah, that's some great pocket change.
So Maddie Tabe asked a good question. What's classed as pocket change? Adam, I'll let you. What's your answer on this?
Yeah, like it could be a great deal. Say under $50. Something
$50 is pocket change.
Well, you know what I mean. Like if you pick up a $200 card for $40, that's a good deal.
But is it pocket change?
That's true.
I mean, how much change have you got in your pocket, Ad?
I never carry change.
See, I reckon
We've passed through the COVID era now, so I don't carry change.
But I reckon the most cash I would put into my pocket would be $20. After that, it would go in my wallet.
Okay.
So for me, I reckon pocket change is $20 and less.
All right.
Yeah.
25. How's that? Because you don't know.
Fine. I'll compromise for you, Ad. Yeah.
It's fee-based, so...
Yeah.
But yes. All right. So we'll say, there we go, $25.
Cool.
And if it's under 30 and you think it's super duper good, we might just let it slide.
We'll bend the rules to
That's
28.
That's it. All right. That's that discussion. Now we've got Dwayne Pomfret. First purchase through Mercury.
So shout out to the boys at Mercury. Keep up the good work, lads. Adam, have you signed up yet?
No. I'm on it though. I'm going to.
It's on the to-do list.
It is on my to-do list.
Yep.
I might actually run a sale or something, or put some cards up for sale on it. Let's see. So it's a Michael Jordan
Hoops
card. It's a nice Jordan.
It is. Speaking of hoops, they do nice cards.
They do.
Yep.
What have we got? All right, Dane Neville.
Hoops again.
That's a nice card.
They do nice cards.
They do. Yep. Arriving now, rookie card, Anthony Edwards. Nice, like it. $1.25.
And $1.25 postage. That is actually cheap postage. But that to me says plain white envelope. Oh no, it's $1.50 USD. Yeah, it'd probably be plain white envelope still, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this is the exception to the rule.
That's okay. We just appreciate people chipping in.
Look,
Sorry, you go.
Lachlan Blunt. Over a little bit, but I tell you what, for a gold number to 10, it was. You're right, Lachlan. Very nice buy. 36 USD.
Yep.
For an RJ Hampton rookie auto. What is it? Fast break signatures. Nice. Number to 10, he said. So, yeah. Nice little addition. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yep, great pickup, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. RJ Hampton. Oh, look. You could be collecting your pocket change and then buy something like this. How's that?
Yeah.
You have a pocket change jar. Then what have we got? We've got a couple more from Dane Cumming. Pick this up for 11 USD. Josh Green, rookie to 10 from Elite. Nice.
Yeah, interesting what you can actually get on players who just sort of fall outside that collectible sort of space, isn't it? So cards that are numbered to 10, you couldn't even dream of getting a bigger name for this type of price, and that's not only is it numbered to 10, it's a rookie card too. So, or both of those last two.
And then obviously got another one. Picked it up for $6 for a 2021 Origins rookie, Josh Green, and then flipped it. Flipped it a few days later for a bit more than pocket change.
Yep.
So
well
good
played. I
story
hope
there.
you roll it into something nice out of your PC, mate. Honestly.
Yeah. So I thank you everyone for contributing because hell, all I could contribute was the photo. I'll find another photo. I might reuse the same photo, which will get really confusing on the page.
Yeah.
I might get MS Paint and just put a date on it, change one of the coins or something. But yes, that was good. Did you have any pocket change for the week, or was it just the Patrick Williams you missed out on?
Look, I definitely missed out on that. I think the other one that I missed out on too was a De'Aaron Fox, totally certified. It's a subset called the Mighty.
Mm-hmm.
It was graded, and it was PSA 6.
The Mighty, were they case hits?
Was it?
I think so.
Oh no. Okay, so it was PSA 8. I lie.
Yeah.
I said 6. It sold for Aussie $13.50. If that's a case hit, and I haven't realised that, now I even feel feel worse about it. Thanks, Ad.
Sorry.
That's okay, mate.
Sorry. Whoopsie.
Alrighty, Ad. I think we should tie this bad boy off. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Final thoughts?
It was a nice week. A lot happening in the league. A lot of interesting stories. I think we just sort of got back to a bit of variety. It was nice to go through a couple of different checklists there.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see which logo man raises its head next.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Logoman season, you reckon, Ad?
It is. It just seems to be. There's a type of logoman that'll be up and setting records, set the world on fire.
Yep.
Will Bol get to 200? Final thoughts. Come down and say hi. We'll have an Andrew Gaze into the future. We'll Luke Longley at this later. Yes. Come down to EJ Cards Friday, November 25th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Russell and I will be there.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing a little bit of content live or recording anyway for the show, but it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do a live pocket change.
Oof.
That'll be it. I'll actually get stuff. We'll go through the bargain bin. I will get 3 cards for pocket change.
Do you know what? That's a really good idea. Just keep it light with people.
I'm going to do pocket
Quick
change.
chat. What have you got? Yeah. What have you picked up for a couple of bucks?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Capital idea, sport.
Love it.
Cheers, mate.
Good to be just
Back in the seat.
Back doing the dynamic duo.
Yep.
Although the third man in's always a bit of fun.
I mean, look, it was Mike Gio. Let's keep it real.
Yep. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
We'll
see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheers, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Question is anybody on Facebook? Because if there's not, I'll go home. Go to bed. Let's have a look. Facebook. I can mute that. Looks like
need to turn off notifications on this post. I'm just getting flooded at the moment with
all the likes for your
Yeah. I didn't think about that actually. Alrighty, 13 comments. Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, Matt Dave. Hopefully, standard bowl chat tonight. Oh, hey lads! If you register business, you can claim. Oh, so this is back at the when we're talking about the auction.
Yeah.
There was trades involved with the original Luca deal. Okay.
Hey, Matty Harper, how are you, buddy? Matty Tabe, how you going?
Losing a million. Lose a million now or 2 million next year. Why not?
Hi, Alex, how are you, buddy?
And
Yeah.
Samuel, yep.
Okay, I've heard that there was trades involved in the original Luca deal. Yeah, I gotta say, like, if it's a private sale, how can we be quoting that as gospel, right?
Yeah. All we know is the price, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh look, we can call them idiots for paying that much money for cardboard, but
Hey,
I don't have.
Has the Facebook feed dropped out at?
No, I'm on.
Mine's frozen. That's all.
No, we're good.
We're good. Oh no, there we go.
So Andrew Dean just sent me an image for Pocket Change. I've got it done. Legend.
Right. We got a new logo.
That's it. We're done.
Or a call lose $1 million now or $2 million next year. Oh, so I'm assuming Matty Tabe.
Yeah, that's we're talking about the auction. Yeah.
Do you reckon that's going to lose $2 million, Matty Tabe?
Probably.
I think if Steph just sold for 5.
Yeah.
And what Luca just sold for 3.
I don't know. You apply the 20-year rule, and who knows?
The GOAT. First rookie card I ever pulled. Cassius Stanley. That's not the worst card to pull, Samuel. It's not the worst you could pull at all.
When you were talking about the, what was it? The logo man, we were going on about Logo Man being the new thingo. I'm like, I want the Anthony Bennett Logo Man 1 of 1.
Do you have a Logo Man in your PC?
I have that Kobe with but it's not a Logo Man. It's got a logo on it. You know the one, the auto.
I mean, you could almost upsell that to be a Logo Man, couldn't you?
Yeah. I don't know what you call it. It says something logo on it. Hang on, I'll go and read it.
Anyway, while Adam's gone, I do not have anything that resembles a Logo Man on it at all. I think it's not really a quick fix, is it though?
National Treasures signature patches, NBA logo.
Can you hold it up to the thing, mate?
Which camera?
And just sort of roll it forward, just because I think that the other way. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's perfect. Why isn't that a Logo Man? What's the difference between that?
Well, it says it on the grading. It says NBA logo. Yeah,
I didn't know you owned that.
Yeah, this is the one I had at the Hobby Hangout.
Have you shown that to me already?
Yeah, you gave me the sleeve for it. You said I was what was it?
Neanderthal, probably.
Something like that, yeah. A cretin, or I was so primitive for not having a protective sleeve over my...
I don't use the word cretin at all. My vocabulary, but...
I was uncivilized or something for not having it. Yes. So, yeah. I guess that's a Logo Man. There's a logo there.
Okay, just completely off topic. What are you going to do with that card?
It's currently in my PC.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with it? Are you going to put it into a bank vault? Are you going to buy one of those crazy cases that keep it like temperature and humidity controlled and all that type of stuff?
I don't know. I'm probably just going to sell it one day. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with it. Like, it worries me having a card like this at times.
That's what I mean. Like, you know, have you thought about putting it into like secure storage or something?
Yeah,
that's an absolute monster.
But yeah, it's funny. It's funny
how
I got it.
My place, if you want, Ad, I'll look after it for you.
Yeah. There's a few people who've offered to just take it off my hands. It's yeah. No, it's definitely a nice little piece.
That is a massive card, man.
Nice little piece.
All
The
right, tell us
auto's
the
on there,
story.
no.
Where did you get that from?
So I got it in a Raz. I bought how many spots? It was 100 spots at $5.50 a spot. And I bought 20 spots. Did I buy 20 spots? It was $50 or $100 I spent. I think I only spent 50. I might have only bought 10 spots.
Oh my god! Imagine if that was like lined now. Someone would just like close the whole thing just like in one go. I reckon.
But yeah, it definitely wouldn't go for $500. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Nice little investment, Ad.
But yeah, like it was like I had a string of Razzes where my name was second. And they were like good Kobe's that I wanted, and I was like far out. And then this come up, and I'm like, give me some spots.
Yeah.
And then we ran it, and I won, and I'm like, hang on, what? I was very excited, so that's for sure.
I mean, you should be.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Alrighty, so I'm just looking at one now. There's a 2010 Panini Elite.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Elgin Baylor on one side with an autograph, and then on the flip side, it's got Kobe Bryant. The card is graded to 5 with an autograph of 9.
Wow.
There's 99 of them. Little bit misleading because in the title of the eBay listing, it's got PSA 9, whereas technically it's PSA.
It's tricky with the
5.
autos. Yeah.
The starting bid on that is 1,350. How many bids? There's no bids though.
No. It's tricky with the lower condition. But that's nice.
I think that's a good reference point for your Kobe though. Like that, I think that gives you a very firm. Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, what's this number 2?
See, I'm not even jealous of that card because it's one of those things where it's so sort of like high end that you don't really contemplate it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you. It's not that I'm not happy for you. I'm not like sitting here like all jelly.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, geez, that's just like an amazing.
It's like
card.
an amazing, yeah. It's just an amazing card.
Yeah.
Where are we? 130 point. We'll see if we can find it.
So, as a Kobe aficionado, do you think now is a good time to be buying a Kobe autograph?
There's a lull for sure. Like Kobe's aren't. There's no major spike, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
there's like the Dream Team, the Redeem Team doco wasn't enough of a hype train to bump Kobe's, if that makes sense. It didn't have the Last Dance effect, from what I saw.
Because, you know, like I've been talking about all the big dogs, like buying some veterans and stuff, like, because the thing that...
Kobe's the hard one to get, right? Well, not hard one, but it's the expensive one.
Yeah, so... And look, being pragmatic, and I probably didn't verbalize this, but I think Bill Russell's at the top of my list because I knew he was quite frail.
Yeah.
And then, just say I'm tossing up between Magic and Kareem at the moment.
Mm.
I feel like Magic is quite a well person. And I know this is a terrible thing to think about, but I'm just sort of like prioritizing, I suppose. And I think that's like one thing that does sort of come into my like thought process. Like,
It should.
Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way though. Like, should I just be looking at Kobe stuff because he's already passed? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I almost feel bad saying it out loud, to be honest, but...
No, I can't even find it on 130 point.
I've stopped looking at the comments. I'm just...
Yeah. I think I don't think we got any
I think the feed's done, isn't it? I think we've done
Pretty well.
our duty, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah. All right, I'm turning the notifications off on this post. It's getting...
You're gonna have to check the voting.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll do it next week, but like I can't
Awesome.
turn
All
it
right.
off.
Well, I'm gonna end the stream and go to bed because I have stuff.
Mate. I'll do a bit of production and then we'll
Awesome.
have a chat to you this week.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for
Cheers, mate.
hanging with us. And we'll be